Hi, this is Pastor Bill Rose, and it's time for our October vlog. Now, at the risk of maybe dating myself a little bit, there was a coach of the Green Bay Packers several years ago by the name of Vince Lombardi. And rumor has it that every year, one of the first things he would do with his players is hold up a football and go, "Gentlemen, this is a football." And he would cover the basics of the sport. I kind of want to do that a little bit in the church world. It's one of the big things that a church is known for being a welcoming church. A church is known for being inclusive. We want to be a church that disciples people, etc. Let's talk about that just briefly if we could. Let's talk about being a welcoming church. That's a basic. We all know it. It's something that we've all thought about, probably all heard if we've been in church any length of time. But sometimes it's easy to forget about. It's a basic, and it's something that we absolutely need to do. But not just a person, not just two or three people, not just the greeting team, but all of us need to be a welcoming part of the ministry at Impact. I got to tell you something. When people come here for the first time and they don't know anybody, it feels a little scary, overwhelming. I don't know where anything is. I don't know who anyone is. And it's an opportunity for us to help bridge all those gaps and put aside all of those fears. And I can tell you how we know if we're being successful at being a welcoming church. They come back for the second time and the third time. Inclusive church. That's another basic, right? Of course we want people to feel included. We want them to feel like, well, they're part of the family. But the only way that can really happen is if over a period of time, they actually are included in things that create community. Now, for some of us, that's inviting somebody into our life group. For others, it might be inviting them into our favorite sport or inviting them out for a lunch or dinner or something along those lines. But I just want to remind you of how important it is to be inclusive. Not one person in our church can do that either. It's going to take all of us working together. Third, we absolutely want to be a discipling church. I've thought a lot about this, and I've decided that being a discipling church isn't just me being in a growing relationship with Christ or you being in a growing relationship with Christ. A discipling church is a church where people who already are disciples are helping encourage other disciples or making new disciples and then encouraging them to grow in their faith. When it starts moving out exponentially like that, we know that we've really achieved something that is powerful and God-honoring. And then one last thing. We don't always think about this, but I think it's important for Impact. We want to be a multiplying church. We want to be a church that is discipling well enough that we're discipling up the next generation. We're discipling well enough that we're raising up the next pastors and church leaders that regardless of whether or not they stay with us or they end up someplace else, the ministry of Impact is being multiplied far beyond its walls. We even want to be a church that would be a part of starting new churches or satellites as God gives us those opportunities. And so I just wanted to remind you, this is a football, but this is the church. And you help make all of those things happen to the glory of God. Love you guys. I'll see you Sunday.